Let's hope it works, because it doesn't always. We're live on Facebook. Woo! That's cool. Well, welcome everybody. It's great to see you here today. 4 o'clock. And hello from Belgrade, where it's quite warm the last few days. Hello, Ukraine, Slovenia. Good, we're seeing a lot of people there here today. 20-something participants for our session, which is on annotation tools for lively English classes. And we're going to be adding quite a few people as we go, but I think we might as well start. Welcome all of you on Facebook Live. Great that you could join us today. I think you're going to find what we do today is very fun and a little bit on the wild side. And you just never know when things will work when you're doing online sessions. So here we go. Zoom annotation tools for lively English sessions. And I'm Kevin McCoy. I know a lot of you out there. I'm so happy that you came and are joining us today, because it's been a while since we've done webinars. My colleague Ivana Bankovic is there. Wave at us, Ivana. Thank you. Okay, we are recording this webinar today because we're going to use it to make short tutorials on some of the activities. So please be aware of that. You may rename yourself or turn off your camera if you don't want to be seen in the videos. There are many online platforms. We're using Zoom today, as a lot of you use. That's not an official endorsement, but this product works for us. For now and for the future, security tip, it's always best to log in directly to Zoom without going through a third party like Facebook or something, because you're giving away less information that way. Also, Zoom runs a lot of updates, so make sure that you're up to date, because you will be more secure that way. And speaking of security and privacy, we have a new course coming up, and it is a certificate course, a self-signed certificate, and it's with a very special English language specialist named Elizabeth Plummer, and she really has developed expertise in the area of teaching English online and the privacy and security and safety that you want to know about that. What information you're giving away when you're teaching online, etc. So I'm really looking forward to it. You can register for that, and I think Ivana will probably throw the link into the chat box. Let me just open the chat box. Whoa, Heidi from Brazil. That is awesome. Welcome, Brazil. And so you can see Elizabeth right there. And we're going to offer that July 21, 22, and 23. It's 3 days in a row at 4 p.m. A mini course, a sprint course. All right, so today about annotations in the Zoom platform. Right now, I'm just checking. Oh, you do have annotations, but I disabled them. So in online meeting and webinar platforms like Zoom have generally been designed for business communities. So it's either to present, one person presents, or they're for meetings where people take turns speaking. That's great, but for online English classes, it's not super ideal. Fortunately, there are some extra tools like the annotation tools where students can draw or write. And I think the best classes, whether online or face-to-face, offer students opportunity to take part in all the activities, or most of them, no matter how small they are, how short the activities. So that's why I've developed this webinar, because I'd like you to get you familiar with annotation tools if you're not using them. And we're really going to experiment today. Like, I don't know if these activities will work. You're going to help me decide. But our goal is to get all of us to doing things simultaneously. Right now we have 40 participants. So that will be interesting to see if it works. It will also help us increase variety in online lessons. But there are some considerations as we experiment today. Are these activities worthwhile? Are they replicable in your teaching context? Can you do them in your context? And do they offer enough language practice? Those are some of the conclusions we'll try to make together at the end of this webinar. As always, in online learning, we've got to be brave. Things will go wrong. We learn from that. Every time we do these webinars, something goes wrong, at least one thing. But that's okay. We will make it. We encourage you to use the chat box. It's one of the key tools in Zoom that allows regular input from the audience, the participants, the students. So please chat away. Oh, Sandra Story is here from Washington, D.C. And we have people from all over the world. Great to see you. So there's your key toolbar. You'll notice you can click on that green screen share button, but you won't be allowed to share your screen, nor will you be allowed to record. However, we are going to allow you to do some annotations today. But our first activity is going to be to familiarize ourselves with the Zoom navigation tools, or to review the new Zoom navigation tools. So, and there's Scott Farmer. Hi, Scott. So if you're familiar with Simon Says, when I say Simon Says, then you will do something. It's a listen and do activity. If I tell you to do something without saying Simon Says, you're not supposed to do it. So let's practice with our Zoom tools online. Okay, Simon Says. Wave at me through your video screen if you have video. Okay, good. Simon Says, find your reaction button and give me a thumbs up. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of thumbs up there. Let's make my screen bigger so I can see all of you. Alessi's got thumbs up. Okay, wow, that's super. Okay, now you know where the reaction button is, so show me the applause, please. I didn't say Simon Says, but that's okay because you still use the applause, and that's an important tool. Okay, now Simon Says, find your video square online and click on the 3 dots there and rename yourself. So you can change your name Do you see that? I'm going to do it right now. If you find your video screen, even if you don't have a video, you can click on rename and watch my name go from Kevin McCoy to Kevin McCoffee, because I like coffee. There it is. Okay, that's great. Refamiliarizing ourselves with the Zoom teaching tools. And I think this is good to do with learners if they don't know the tools too well. All right. Thank you, everybody. Now it's time to explore those heralded annotation tools themselves. What you're going to see at the top of your screen is something like this. Actually, you're going to see view options at the top of your screen. Is that correct? You see view options? There's a pull down menu there. And if you pull down the menu, you will not see that annotate button because I have annotation disabled right now. But that is where it is. Can you please give me a thumbs up reaction from your reaction button if you see the more options? Okay, you can write in the chat box if you're having trouble finding it. Right now, okay, good. Some people are finding it. Remember, you won't see annotate yet because I have not turned it on. And on the bottom there, very nice tool is side-by-side mode. It allows you to see your pictures on one side and the presentation on the other. And the line in between them, you can move to adjust the size. All right, so here are the tools that you will see in your annotation tool section. And you know what? I'm going to go and turn on your annotation tool right now, just so that you can see these. So now I have enabled annotation. And if you go to view options, you should see annotate now. You can turn that on. I really think it's worthwhile to walk students through these steps to train them, because if you want to use annotation tools regularly and well, they will need to know the secrets. So now we have annotation turned on. Really important here is that if you click on text, then you are able to type on the screen. But before you do that, please go to Format. You see Format here? Where it says you can change your color. Now, there's a font size there. I would like you to change the font size to 12. That's the smallest. Since we have a lot of people in this session today, 50 participants, we're all going to be sharing a screen. So please change your font size to 12. Now, can I get a hand raised for anyone that is using a phone here today? Is anybody using a phone? Okay, Andre is. Okay, a few of them. But when you work with students, they will have phones probably. So when a participant is using a phone, they're going to see something different. This is the whiteboard screen on a phone, and you'll see there's an icon of a pen or pencil. That's your annotation tool for those of you with phones. There are many different types of phones, so yours may look different. And when you click on your annotation tool, you have these options: pen, highlighter. So you don't have as many options when you're working on a phone. You'll just have to try to write very small. But we welcome you to take part in these activities with us. Okay, so I hope we have our text set to 12 point. You'll notice also next to text, you have draw. And if you open that up, you'll see various lines where you can actually draw rather than type on the screen. Okay, so someone's already doing it. That's fine. Oh, and you learned how to erase too. Great. Let's try to write your initials very small using the draw button. There we go. Alicia. Cool. This looks very much like a room where a young child lives. Yeah, that is really cool. Okay, we have so many artists here. All right. Ivana, can you clear the board for us, please? Aha. So the host can clear everything. Now let's try clicking on your text. Let's click on text. And I've got a blank screen here. So if you click on text, you can try writing, say, your first name. Please don't give us any personal information. Or the city where you're from. Wow, there we go. Look at that. So we have a lot of room on the board. Vesna, Alor, Yusna, Belgrade. Ah, Elena from Odessa, I know you. Someone from Vranja, excellent. Someone's from Hong Kong? And someone's from Tuzla, that must be Amir. Someone's from Ohrid, okay. Wonderful. Okay, we can see the people who have telephones, I think, here, because they cannot type or write, it's very small. All right, excellent. Ivana, can you please clear that board as I move on? Okay, we're going to introduce you quite deliberately here to one more tool in your toolbar. It's called Stamp. You're going to see 6 stamps. So there you go. Go ahead, mess up my presentation board. Experiment with some stamps there. Okay. So you see that each time you touch the board, one stamp is placed there. Okay, and people with phones, you don't have stamps, so you just have to make a mark. Okay, great, thank you. Ivana, can you erase the board, please? All right, now we're going to go into an activity using our tools. Since we just used stamps, let's continue to use the stamps. But first, 3 more tools for undoing your work. Now, as hosts, we can erase everything, but you can also erase yourself using any of these 3 tools. And one last thing that I really love, when we make a whiteboard or do some art, you have a save button there on the right. You can click and it will save as a ping file, whatever's on the whiteboard to your screen. So when you're teaching, if anything great happens on that whiteboard, you can save it, send it to students, post it on Facebook. And your students can too. So you can even do that right now. All right, it's time to move to real activities. Instant polls. I'm going to use the whiteboard here. So far, we've been using my PowerPoint presentation, but I'm just going to adjust and move to our whiteboard here. So please wait for the instructions before you begin, because I'm going to give us a little poll here, and I'm just going to create the poll right in front of us. And my question is this to you, because we have been doing so much online teaching. I'm going to give us 3 choices here. 1, 2, 3. Oops. How tired are you tired of online instruction? So we have 3 choices here. Yes, no, and sort of. So you're going to still use your stamp tool. Just place 1 stamp in the column to show how you feel. Just 1. Because I know we've been doing a lot of online instruction, but not a lot of people are. Okay, we see the vast majority, or the majority of our people. The majority are sort of tired. Okay, excellent. Sorry, I have to stop my share here. Now we're going to try another poll. And this time, let's focus on how we can go from just opinions to spotlighting language, developing lexical awareness. So let me go to our poll, and I'm to our whiteboard, excuse me. There's our whiteboard. And we can leave that there because if I click at the bottom of the screen, I can create a new whiteboard and it will save that one. So you can see, there it is. This is a great tool because you have an unlimited number of whiteboards. So I'm going to work right now with a couple phrasal verbs. And I'm just going to create this poll right now live. And ask you, do you prefer to wake up early or sleep in late? And using your stamp tool, please just put a stamp under the side that you prefer. While I highlight the phrasal verbs there, we have wake up and sleep in. So people that like to sleep in don't like to wake up early. Okay, so we have quite a few early birds here. Okay, what I like about this activity is even though the learners are doing only a little, they're focusing on the meaning of those words. Let's try this then. Do you prefer to stay up to turn in early? Or do you prefer to stay up late? And again, we've got useful phrasal verbs here that I'm just going to highlight right here. Turn in means to go to bed. And stay up. So our English teachers here are definitely the kind that like to go to bed early, to turn in early, and to go to bed early. I myself am a stay up late person, so I'm going to make a big X there, and a sleep in late person. Okay, and if you like this poll, you can just click on the save button and it will save it for you. All right, super easy instant polls. Thanks for taking part. Now let's see what else we can use. We're going to stay with our stamps right now. We're going to stay with our stamps. And we're going to do a listening activity. And so I thought I'd give a couple words as pre-listening vocabulary because I will be saying these during the listening activity. One is contiguous. It means sharing a boundary or edge. Contiguous. Populous, full of people, residents. Most often we use this for most populous or least populous. And finally, statehood, which is the status of being a state. And now, welcome everyone, the United States of America. This is a map. Many of the designs we make for these are done in Canva, sometimes PictoChart, sometimes Visme, which means that I don't have to worry about whether it's public domain all the time. I can use these in my presentations. So I'm going to give you clues about a state. They will start off being rather difficult, and then they will get simpler. I would like you to use your stamp tool to mark the state when you know which one I'm describing. Are you ready? This state was the home of the rock group, the Beach Boys. It is the state where my mother and father live. It is the most populous state. It borders 3 states. Hollywood is located in this state. The state begins with a C. Okay, it looks like a lot of people got that. California. Excellent. The most populous state. All right. Here's another one. I'm thinking of a different state right now, okay? Astonishingly, this state has 4 out of the 5 climate zones in the world. Wow. It was also the last state to achieve statehood. It became a state in 1959. It also is not part of the contiguous United States. That means it doesn't border any other state. It's also a group of islands surrounded by water. Everybody nailed it. Good job with your stamps and your check marks, everyone. Okay, so that's some focused listening. When we do a listening task, especially online, how do we know that our students are listening? Oh, this is one way that helps a little bit. Okay, I'm going to move on. So Ivana's going to have to clear the board, but you guys can always save this if you want. It will save. Now you can see I could do the same thing with this world map by giving you a geography test, clues about countries of the world or oceans or whatever. Or look what I have here. another map. But first, I would like you to go now from our stamp to our text, because I want you to type on the next screen. We were using our stamps on the last map. But now, does anyone recognize this place? So now what we're going to do is a mass labeling session. I'm going to start my timer here. And with you, you're going to click on your text symbol and type, and we'll see how can we label all of the countries of Europe together as a team, as a group, and how long will it take us? Ukraine is number one. Okay, I'm starting my timer now. This is so much fun. Slovenia. Italy, someone's got the phone there. That's okay, that's great. My stopwatch going. Wow, we have a lot of people writing Montenegro in. Good. You don't have to write your own country, you can write any of the countries. I'm going to write one myself here. And you'll notice if you want to move your text after you write it, you click on select or mouse, and then you'll be able to move. See how I'm moving Corsica around, and then I'm going to go back to Corsica right there. My text is a little large. Let me reduce the size of my text there. Okay, there we go. Cool. What countries are we missing? Someone got Moldova. Thank you. Slovenia we got. Kosovo we got. All right. Great work, everybody. So that was only about less than 2 minutes. Good practice on geography, writing the country names in English. I bet you can think of other ideas that you could use for labeling. Okay, thank you, Nadia, for saying great ideas with these tools. Okay, save it if you like. Ivana is now going to erase this. Oh, and Europe is clean again. That's the way it should be. When we want to clean something, it should be just like that, right? Okay. Sorry, I'm frozen, so I have to stop that with key commands. And for you teachers who might want to use annotation tools, I have found that sometimes my mouse disappears, as it just did. And so it's good to learn the key commands to know how to stop sharing, because there was nothing I could do without a key command there. So labeling is super easy. I could ask you to label these US states, but we've already done that, so we're not going to do it again. But it's just an idea. What else could we label? Well, we could put up anything from your textbook. For example, these animals, and we could ask students to write the names of these animals and label them all. Or we can do very high level labeling. You can, here is the human anatomy, where we could label all the parts of the human body together. You could do very complicated things like car parts if you were teaching something like that. Brain, someone's got it. Good job. And now we could also do this. This is where it gets more fun. So let's say we wanted to break our group into 2 teams. And we could say, team 1, you are those people who were born on an odd day. So if your birthday is on 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, you're in team 1. If your birthday's on an even day, the 2nd, 4th, 6th, etc. of a month, then you would be on team 2. And we would have a race for labeling these things. Now, naturally, you'll want these to go with the content that you're currently teaching. Again, I'm giving you a hodgepodge of activities, but I hope to be inciting some ideas. Okay, great job, everybody. Does anyone know what this is in the center, the big green one? Durian! Somebody got that. Amazing, who got that? Let me find my chat box. Huh, amazing. Okay, so you did a great job there with labeling. Now let's try something that's very simple and very easy, brainstorming or idea generation. Oh, let's go back. I will go to the whiteboard here and we'll take a blank whiteboard and I'll just create a new one just like that. And then I'll write up our subject in the corner of this, and our subject is summertime. So I would like you to write anywhere on the board whatever words, phrases, sentences conjure up summertime to you. Beach, great. And you can type and we will have a kind of artwork here. Swimsuit, good. I always think of watermelon first. We're getting a lot of stuff. Summertime and the living's easy. Yeah. Let's try your words. Long and lazy days, ice cream, sun, and sun lotion, where the breeze is hot and the holidays got swimsuits and friends. So cool, little baby, warm water, wood and sand castles. Yeah, 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 those sand castles. My. All right. That was really cool. So thank you for that board. If you want to save it, click the save button and it will be on your computer. What's really cool is, I think this would be a good start for poetry writing, all these evocative words. So we just did a idea generation about summer. Here's a lovely painting by Harry Ferrer about winter. Can you think of anything any good annotation activity you could use with this picture? You can reply in the chat box or you can write on the picture itself. Snow, Cold, Good. And by the way, I wanted to show you these The Metropolitan Museum of Art has 500,000 free, copyright-free images that you can use. So it's worth looking through them. Write a short description in the chat box. Great idea. Who's that? Azra. Scotty Dog could do an acrostic poem. Great. The feelings it conjures up when they see it. Okay. Good work, everybody. Now I'm going to move on because we have more fun activities to do. We haven't done a writing race yet. Let's try a vocabulary race. I'm going to break you into 3 teams now. And we can see team 1 is, if you were born in January through April, you're going to make a list of fruits, as many different fruits as possible. Team 2, born May through August, you're going to write any veggies, as many as possible. Team 3, you have a kind of grab bag, and you can write dairy products, proteins, grains, other foods. Okay, so I'm going to give you 2 minutes. Let's see how many we can get. Wow. The fruits are really off to the races. Do we have anyone who was born May through August? Carrots, okay, we got some in the veggie group. Sour cream, milk, parsley. Wow, the fruit people are doing very well. I can't tell how many different ones there are. Cabbage, good, sour cream. Aubergine, All right. It is difficult for you who are using the phones. I totally understand that. But we have to be inclusive and let everyone take part, right? So we're glad that you're trying, people with telephones. Okay, butter. Excellent. All right. Thank you very much. You did a great job. It looks like the fruit team might have won, but everybody did a great job. And this is something we can use to augment a section of the course book, right? When we're talking about a certain subject, just recycle the vocabulary in a fun way like this. You'll probably notice, we can clear the board there, Ivana, that many of these activities are quite quick. And I think that's correct, that we don't want to spend a whole lesson doing these little activities, but we can bring 1 or 2 of them into our lessons between the talking and the presentation aspects of that we usually do in Zoom. This one's going to be really fun. We're going to work together. It's a mass correction. A mass correction. So what I would like you to do here is look at these sentences. Some of them have mistakes, some of them do not. But I would like you to cross out the mistake. I'm going to give you an example here, like I'm doing right now, and then put a correction on the right hand. So one way I could correct this would be, they were married during the war, right? So let's work together as a one whole group and see if we can correct these. I think this is a great way if you gather some incorrect sentences from your student writing to put them on a board and let everyone try to correct them. It's good to keep some that are correct. Okay, let's see. So number 2, our dad was in China last year or went to China last year. Good. I expect to be home at or by 8 o'clock. Both good. I expect to be home for dinner. By dinner is also correct, so there's nothing wrong with that sentence. I met the love of my life on January 10th. Okay. I met the love of my wife on, very good, on June 2nd. We arrived before 5 in the morning. That's actually correct, right? If you arrived at 5 precisely, that's correct, but also you can arrive before 5. We worked in the backyard for 2 hours, good, or we have been working for 2 hours, good. I played trumpet when I was small, or I played trumpet since I was small. Okay, very good. And if you want to know, sorry, lost my mouse. You can also turn on in the annotation tools and I'm doing this now, show names of annotators. So now, if you draw something, I can identify your name. Sometimes we want to be anonymous with students, but sometimes we also want to see who's contributing. So next time you annotate, I'm going to be able to see your names. You see? Okay, we can do some fun drawing activities. Here is one that we did called Pictionary, and this activity has already been complete. But anonymous, we sent secret words to 4 students. And can you guess what the words were? Because they then drew pictures of the words and we had to guess what they were drawing. And yes, someone got the American flag, angel. Natasha's writing umbrella and Alababala, umbrella. And how about that other one? City skyline. Thanks, Heidi Ho. Okay, absolutely. So this is really fun. You can send subject matter out to multiple students and have them simultaneously draw on the board. Okay. Now, let's try another listening activity. I love pictures that are very busy. And so I'm going to ask you to identify parts of this picture. And just mark it. You can either mark it with a check mark or a stamp or circle it when you hear it. So again, this is going to be listening practice, and I'm going to highlight verbs. Can you find somebody scooping up something? He's scooping up porridge. Scooping up porridge. Can you find someone tying a bell around a cat's neck? Can you find someone catching a snake? Somebody's found the snake person. Can you find a fish eating a fish? Mark that. Can you find cards falling? Where are cards falling? Can you find someone banging his head against the wall? Can you find someone carrying a heavy basket? Can you find two dogs fighting over a bone? Okay, we still need to find someone scooping up porridge. Someone scooping up porridge. There it is, marked by a heart. Tying a bell around a cat. Does anyone have that? Someone is tying a bell around a cat. Flora just found it right there. Good. Catching a snake. Do we see that? Thanks, Nadine. Right up there, Monica. Good. And, oh, how about this one? Shearing a sheep. Shearing a sheep. Nadia, Heidi Ho. Could see that guy cutting the hair of a sheep. So we could reinforce the language by, I have to stop my screen share, by putting the language into the chat box too, shearing a sheep, for example, as I'm doing here. Okay, that was really great, everybody. Now, we only have a couple minutes left, but this is the most fun activity of all. I like to call it group art. And I'm waiting for my annotation tool to appear. I've got it. So now we're all going to create, and let me do this in the whiteboard, because the whiteboard's really easy to save. So I'm going to go to the whiteboard. There it is. And that's not the, there's our whiteboard, and I'm going to make a new one. There's no reason to clear that because it's so beautiful. But we're going to draw a picture, and here's our picture. Let me start it. That's the land. And up here is the sky, and this is the land. So I would like you all to take part in drawing our picture of the outdoors. You can add anything you like to our painting. It's a group painting. It's a group picture. I see a bird and a sun. And a green, what, balloon? And a river. I'm gonna try to draw something too. It's gonna be, oh my God. There's my person. That's me, self-portrait, the green thing. There I am. Wow, who drew the hedgehog? I had a feeling. I had a feeling. What a wonderful picture. Now, despite what some people say, I think this is better than some 4-year-olds can do. Yeah, I think we're better than some 4-year-olds. Wonderful picture. If you want to save it, you know how, right? What a magical world we have created. Okay, so hit the save button if you want to save that. What a great picture. I knew it would work. All right. Remember at the beginning of this session, I asked you these considerations. Are these activities worthwhile? I mean, naturally, we want to blend them with longer activities, with speaking, right, with writing, with more chat box. Can you use them in your own teaching context? And do they often offer enough language practice? So think about those things, because what we're going to do is break you into groups right now for 4 minutes. So, and then I would like you to talk to each other in groups. And Ivana, can you open the microphones when that happens? If not, I'll try. So how many participants do we have? We have 55. So I'm gonna do about, I'm gonna do 10 rooms. And you will be in your rooms for 4 minutes, only 4 minutes, okay? And here we go. I don't have the question. Scotty dog, you're in my room. So Scott, you are muted. Can anybody hear me?
We have 3 questions.
Oh,
Yeah,
hi.
I remember only the first one, but they are about the
Okay, now we're going to mute everybody. Okay. Thank you so much. No, we're still waiting on some.
That was an interesting experiment. I liked it.
Aha, I was muted. So yeah, it's such a great, I've really enjoyed breakout rooms when we get to meet people from other countries. And I think we're gonna be doing a lot more of that over the summer. So I'm hoping that you'll join us because let's see, before I go on, what did you learn in your breakout rooms? I know you didn't have much time, but do you think these activities are practical enough to do? You can answer in the chat box. Oh, so Marina's asking, can you tell us how to do that, the breakout rooms?
You said it's settings before.
Thank you. Yeah, to have you have to set settings for the breakout rooms in your Zoom settings section. So go into your Zoom controls on the website and check the settings. And you also have to experiment with annotations. You'll have to learn how to turn on the annotations for your learners and how to turn them off. That's about all the time we have. So just to conclude things, this is me working from my home office in Belgrade. I think it's only fair that you are allowed to draw or write on my picture if you like. Any comments or criticisms or funny pictures are welcome. Yeah, as Anila points out, very helpful, but we must adapt to our students and materials. That's absolutely true. You know your context and your students and your materials. And I think maybe just one annotation activity per lesson is enough, would really help bring variety to the lessons. Oh, Natasha has a new tool like Zoom called Miro. I'll have to look at that. I know Jitsi and some others. It's called Jitsi. Is pretty easy to use as well. Well, thank you everyone for writing on me. And I would like to turn it over to my colleague, amazing colleague who has been helping us run this entire webinar, and I really couldn't do it without her. That's Ivana Bankovic. Ivana,
Yes.
come. Yeah, thank you so much for being behind the scenes, handling the chat box and the controls with me.
You're welcome. I love being here and being with all the teachers here. So thank you very much. Exactly. Thank you very much for joining us and being so active and contributing to our webinar, because you make our webinars even better. So thank you very much for that. I just want to mention one more time that we are organizing another course from 21st to 23rd of July. It's about privacy, security, and safety in the online teaching. This is a very important topic that we should always have in the back of our minds while we are doing these online lessons. So our specialist, Elizabeth, will tell us something more about it, and we hope you will join us. Please follow and like our Facebook page. I put the link in the chat box, and register for our next course.
What is the 2 p.m.? Oh. Huh. I don't know what that is. Scotty, the 2 p.m. note. So the time is going to be 4 to 5 GMT plus 2 hours. So it will be 4 o'clock here in the Balkans. But
just to mention one more thing, we will have a teacher talk club with our English language fellow, Scott Farmer, that is here attending this webinar. So we will announce this event on our Facebook page next week, probably, but please join us, register, and we expect to have wonderful Monday meetings for the whole summer.
Yeah, Scott, are you out there? Because we made an advertisement for your sessions. Scott Farmer is going to do 6 live sessions through Zoom. And Olena asks, Olena from Ukraine asks, can teachers from other countries join? Of course, we especially love Ukrainians, you know that. Yeah, we welcome everybody. And the Zoom room will hold up to 500 people. So yeah, we welcome everybody. And there's going to be, I hope we're going to find new and creative online group activities like the breakout rooms. So we've got Scott Farmer with his Teacher Talk Monday, and then we have the privacy course. Mariupol, of course. Thanks, Alina. We got our privacy course. And so we thank you all for coming today. Keep an eye on our Facebook for more. It's time to wave goodbye to everybody. Scott, are you out there? Can you wave to the, there he is, Scotty Dog. Scotty Dog is going to be leading those sessions. And Sandra from Washington, DC, can you wave, Sandra? Thank you. Sandra's also a regional English language officer based in Washington. Okay. So wonderful to see so many friends and familiar faces. Elena from Odessa, hi. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. And Facebook Live, thank you for joining us on Facebook Live. I'm waving goodbye to you.